this age of going green, what incentives are you prepared to offer new and existing businesses that explore alternative forms of energy?
That's been a focus of ours, evidenced by the fact that Chautauqua County is the only county to have the Energy Conference and Expo. We had it last year, we had it this year. It's focused on helping local companies gain access to national international markets when it comes to green energy. We have been the leaders in the ownership and development of our own methane plant. My opponent thinks it should have been built in a day, and I sure wish it could have been. But I think it was evident that that's not possible. But it was only through the efforts of our senior senator, Charles Schumer, that we were able to break through the roadblocks that were placed in front of my administration in developing that. Sure, my opponent, when he was working in the prior administration, knew there was 1,500 cubic feet of methane being dispersed into the environment 8 years ago. But nothing was done with it. Nothing was done with it until I came in. We put together the plan to not only build it, produce it, and produce energy for all of you. It's taking those sorts of initiatives that make these things happen. It was also my administration that took the carbon credits that were begun to be developed in 2005 and sold them 2 weeks ago for $1.8 million, less money that we have to pay in taxes to run our operations. With this focus on energy, with this focus on opportunity and our energy conference, we've also been out there pushing green energy development with our wind turbines. 3 companies right now are pushing 3 projects in Chautauqua County to produce green electricity with turbines. Did we stop there? No. We went out and actually found out who's manufacturing them, who's making the parts and what those parts are. We went out and got all of our metal manufacturers in Chautauqua County. We identified what parts they could be manufacturing, what opportunities they'd have to grow their business, collected that information, and now that's being marketed as a core group of business that can grow, develop new jobs, develop new energy, and actually be invested in these turbines that are coming to Chautauqua County to develop green energy. That's what you do. You get to go hand in hand with the companies that are here, help develop opportunities for them.
I think my opponent is playing a little bit of fast and loose with the facts here. The fact of the matter is the methane plant was not some concept before he took office. It had already been developed. It had already gone out to proposal. And it was packaged and handed over to him, and it took a full 4 years. And maybe he can answer whether it's producing electricity today. I'm not sure if it is or not. Again, I believe very strongly. I support the Energy Conference. I think it's a great thing for Chautauqua County, and the county executive deserves credit for bringing that to Chautauqua County. However, we need action. 2 years ago, the legislature passed and the county executive signed a resolution calling for a green energy industrial park. 2 years later, nothing. We've done nothing. That's a great example of what I've been talking about here all day today. You know, we can sit here and talk about, wind turbines and some things that are going on in Chautauqua County, but we don't have a strategy. We don't have a plan. The legislature had to take the lead in saying, hey, we need to have a green energy industrial park. My opponent has had 2 years. I've heard absolutely nothing as to where those plans are. Maybe he can shed some light on that today. This is what I look at our future in terms of creating green-collar jobs. It's critical to our future. One of the things that I've talked a lot about and what I've proposed in this election, I've worked a lot on neighborhood revitalization. I think it would be great if we had some of these neighborhoods that we're revitalizing to have green housing. I think we need to get contractors in Chautauqua County that are certified, LEED certified, Energy Star certified, so we can start to create some neighborhoods that are green neighborhoods. And just think of what an attraction that would be. If you were moving into a community or living in a community that had actually neighborhoods that were green neighborhoods. That's something that I definitely think that we need to move on and look forward to talking more about it.
Thank you. Mr. Edwards, you have 1 minute.
Well, I appreciate the free advertising for the Energy Conference because that's precisely one of the panels there is working with LEED building design. Contractors that can become involved in that. JCC's science building is one of those very projects that's really leading the way. That's precisely what's taking place for free. You can attend for free at no cost to these panels and do what my opponent thinks needs to be done. It's already being done. And that's an opportunity for all of you in this room to come Friday or Saturday for free. Take a look at the newspaper. You'll find these spots where you can come and learn about that very same thing.
Thank you. I'll take a question here from the audience and ask it to Mr. Cornell is next. There are no big businesses on the Fluvanna side of Jamestown. Will there be any stores or more popular businesses put that side of town?
That's a great question. First, I want to just say one thing in response to that. JCC didn't have anything to do with the county executive. That's not his initiative. That's JCC's initiative, and they should be proud of it. This morning, he tried to take credit for the incubator in SUNY Fredonia. Again, something he had nothing to do with. Yeah, I think it's great we're talking about this at the conference, but we need to have action. We need to have action. We've had 4 years. This is one of the thinnest records of accomplishments I've seen from any county executive. Fluvanna Avenue. Yes, I would absolutely love to see more development, and I would love to see the Chautauqua County working more in partnership with the city of Jamestown as opposed to butting heads all the time. We learned this morning that our tax foreclosure agreements, we were viewing that as litigation or something to that approach. We need to work in partnership with each other, and I think there's great opportunity for some development in Fluvanna Avenue. I know that Quality Markets has moved out of there and we have a vacant building there. But again, you need to have a strategy. You need to have a county executive that's willing to go in and say, we need to have action. There's a time and a place for conferences, symposiums, studies, and discussions. But we've been analyzing and studying things to death. Our debate a week ago, the county executive says, those of you who know me know I don't rush into anything. Well, I agree with him 100%. He hasn't rushed into anything to the point where we're analyzing things, and then figuring out a way why we shouldn't do it. Now, there's a lot going on in Chautauqua County and a lot of organizations that are doing a lot of good things that have nothing to do with the county executive's office. The Dream and Do It, again, yesterday, that was the county executive's initiative. I don't think so. It was a manufacturers association. And so, again, we need to have action. We need to start moving a little bit quicker and getting these things done.
Mr. Edwards, you have 2 minutes.
It's a technique that you'll learn when you're given an opportunity to debate, to throw out false allegations, and that causes the other guy to spend their time debating back against the false allegations, the false statements. I did not just take credit for JCC. I was identifying that as a great initiative that shows how LEED certified contractors can invest their energies and their capacity in Chautauqua County in great jobs with a great result. So I just wasted 30 seconds showing that wasn't wrong. And then he's claiming that I said this yesterday and I'm taking credit for Dream and Do It. Dream and Do It was just one of many initiatives that we've been supporting at the county level financially, and also by going right out into Columbus, Indiana, where that was currently underway and being very productive, and building energy and bringing that expertise back to Chautauqua County so we could have Dream and Do It here in Chautauqua County. That's what then helped bring that energy we had in the gym just earlier last week to talk about what's possible through Dream and Do It and the capacity for high-paying career jobs right here in Chautauqua County by partnering our businesses with the bright young folks like yourself. So there I wasted a minute talking about the things that he said which weren't true, but I'll continue to do that if I have to. Fluvanna is a great opportunity for development. It is going to require continuing to manage our taxes, which are a significant problem in Chautauqua County. And I agree, as my opponent will shortly state, he believes in cutting all taxes. Well, sure, I do too. My choice has been trying to cut property taxes because that's what holds businesses back from developing. Because it's not sales tax that does that, it's property taxes. They have to pay the bill on the properties that they grow and develop that prevents them from hiring bright young folks like you because they're paying too much property taxes. Chautauqua County, we've been able to do that consistently over the last 4 years to the point where we've been encouraging folks to come to Chautauqua County because we show a capacity to manage that particular issue. So that is a real opportunity on Fluvanna. Certainly, it's a number of initiatives have been tried over there. I grew up in Chautauqua County.
All right. First of all, yesterday, Mr. Edwards did call the Dream and Do It his initiative, and anybody can research that and see that. It's exactly what he said. Every day, I guess, brings a new set of facts to this debate. If Mr. Edwards believes that developing Fluvanna Avenue is so important, why hasn't he done anything about it? He's had 4 years. And in that 4-year period, it's gotten worse, not better. When he started, there was a Quality Markets. Now there's not anything. It's an empty building. And so to say you support it and have yet not done anything to develop it, I think is a critical fact. The problem here is that Mr. Edwards, from the beginning, has not worked with the city of Jamestown very well. That's a fact. You know, just this last spring, they got a bill for $600,000. We passed a resolution to say we're going to have a uniform tax foreclosure policy. Mr. Edwards has yet to even call a meeting. This is due January 1st. January 1st, and we haven't even gotten together to talk about putting together this new agreement. So clearly there needs to be a strong relationship with the county executive in all municipalities. You can't just pick and choose.